This is a story about loyalty and wayfinding. It's about trusting the faintest whisper in your heart to guide you. It's the story of women finding their way together, the story of Ruth and Naomi. Their story has shaped mine in ways that I am still understanding. When I was a little girl, I would ask my mother, "When I am grown and you are not with me, how will I know where to go? And how will I know what God wants for me?" And my mother would sigh and pull me close and say, "God will whisper to your heart." As you can imagine, this led to more questions. Well, what will that sound like? How can my heart hear things? And what if I miss it? As I grew, I really began to wonder if she was telling me the truth. I'd been told so many stories of others who received different signs and messages: burning bushes, stars that show the path to follow, angels, rainbows, doves, tongues of fire. Surely I get something more like that. One night in the kitchen, I asked her again, "But how will I hear God's whisper?" Well, she sighed, finished washing the dish in her hands, then dried off, and then taking my hands in hers, she told me this story. A long time ago, there was a family. The mother, Naomi, and the father, Elimelech, had two sons. The four of them had to leave their home due to a great famine, and they ended up in Moab. They made a new home there. I know you've heard of so many others that God has called on a journey. This is more of a story of God whispering, "Stay here." So they stayed, and the boys grew up and married. One married Orpha, the other married Ruth, and this is Ruth's story. Ruth was very happily married for about 10 years, and then her husband died. By that time, her mother-in-law, Naomi, was also a widow. Ruth loved Naomi very much, and Naomi urged Ruth to return back to her own family, but Ruth wouldn't hear of it. She felt it in her bones. She needed to stay with Naomi. Everyone told her, "This is crazy. You're going to regret this." Especially Naomi. Naomi begged Ruth to change her mind. She said, "I have nothing to offer you. Why would you choose a life with me?" But Ruth insisted, "I love you. Let me stay with you and take care of you." Now, as my mother was telling me this part of the story, I could see in my mind this scene playing in another place and time. One woman determined to help the other woman dead set on doing it for herself. I've been on both sides of that story, and maybe you have too. Ultimately, we usually find our way into understanding that the only way forward is together, that we all need each other, and that we all long to be needed. And so it was with Naomi and Ruth. Now, Naomi could see that Ruth meant business, so she stopped her protest, and Ruth stayed. But you know what? I think that Naomi also came to understand that she was worthy, even when she felt she had so little to offer. So sometimes a call from God might be like this: stay here, even if the world calls you crazy. Stand with those that the world tells you have no worth. Let yourself feel love and don't turn away from anyone who might wish to serve you. May we all have ears to hear the faintest whisper of God. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.